Hello everyone, my name is Millie, and alongside with my partners Crystal and Selena, we are bringing you our artist presentation. We have three artists for you today: Guo Pei, Stephen Oo, and Amanda McCavour. I will begin with our first artist. Guo Pei, born in 1967, is a haute couture designer from Beijing, China. She is the first born and raised Asian designer to be invited as a member of the top fashion house in Paris. She has also worked with many celebrities and royalties for over 20 years. Moving on, her work focuses on innovating traditional embroidery into modern pieces. The main technique she uses is gongxiu, or palace embroidery, which she uses gold threads to complete. So by adding Chinese embroidery to Western silhouette gowns, she creates this fusion effect that is the perfect combination of Eastern and Western culture. Her goal is to create beautiful high-end dresses with traditional elements in them, and you'll see this in the upcoming images. Here on the right is a picture of gongxiu. Guo Pei is the founder of Rose Studio in 1997. Like mentioned, palace embroidery is one of her main techniques. This is an old craftsmanship from the Qing dynasty and it has been gradually lost. So her team works on reviving and protecting this traditional technique, giving it a new expression by putting them into modern haute couture. Overall, her work has a symbol of inheritance. Today, she has studios and stores located in Beijing, Shanghai, Paris, and Macau. This is one of her collection called Garden of the Soul. I was fortunate enough to see her exhibit Guo Pei Couture Beyond in 2018 at the Vancouver Art Gallery. So the photos on this slide are taken by me. You can see the intricate layers, embroidery, and beading on the dresses. I like this a lot because it reminds me of Alice in Wonderland. Here are two more photos from this collection. It was also a collaboration with beauty brand MAC in fall 2015, as you can see on the right. Now introducing one of her most famous work, the Yellow Queen dress that Rihanna wore at Met Gala 2015. This robe weighs 25 kilograms, has a 3-meter train, features over 6,000 hours worth of hand embroidery, and took 2 years to make. Here are more photos from the Vancouver exhibit, featuring 2 dresses from her 1002 Nights collection. The right one is inspired by Chinese porcelain, and it took 10,000 hours to make. Now this dress is the first thing you see when you go onto her website. It is called the Dajin dress, or the Magnificent Gold dress. It took 50,000 hours to complete. The outer layer is completely covered in gold thread embroidery. This slide features her Legends collection from 2017. Here's some work with celebrities. We have big celebrity Mickey and Minnie on the top left. Bottom left is a set of Chinese wedding clothing she designed. She also designs male fashion, besides female fashion. So after seeing her exhibit in 2018, I was heavily inspired by her embroidery work because of her stunning designs. It makes me proud that a traditional craft from my culture has made its way into the international market for global recognition through Guo Pei's depiction. And from here, I will pass on to the next artist. Thank you.
I'm going to introduce the artist whose name is Stephen Oo. Stephen Oo was born and raised in Myanmar. He graduated from UC Berkeley in 2007, and at that time, he was majoring in political economy. And then he finished his master's degree in fashion and knitwear design at the Academy of Art University in San Francisco. He was a 1 in 6 graduating student who chose to debut collection during the fall and winter 2010 New York Fashion Week. So now Stephen is entirely on innovative knitwear clothing design, and he joined a talk show personality in China, and he has lived and worked in Shanghai, China since 2013. Stephen knows quite a lot of hand techniques for sweater knits, include hand flatbed, crochet, hand knit, pattern drafting, dropping, and sketching. In terms of the inspiration for Stephen's fall and winter 2010 collection, so he was inspired by an Italian architecture, Massimiliano Fox's, who loves to use a clean line as a basic building structure. So Steven got influenced by this architectural, and he started to translate Fox's curves into drips, also the building's reputation into drips, textures, and cut-out details. Steven combined several hand and hand machine knitting techniques to create structures, weight, ribbing, and texture in his knitwear collection. So there are three main elements that Steven used for his knitwear collection. From the picture on the right side, Steven uses the long drips curve to around the model's shoulder, on the back, and on the side to create dramatic silhouettes. Each of the knit stitches has extreme textures that are balanced by the traditional rib stitch, which is recurring in each garment in a variety of ways. Lastly, Steven uses the cut-out details from the architecture of foxes are used in the garments to expose the garment's worn underneath as well as the auxiliaries. In terms of the intention of Steven's design work, he's trying to make impossible challenges by using classic noble yarn to make architectural knitwear and the innovation in creating new techniques. He hoped that the design made by his hand could provide the hand feel and freedom. So for me, the reason why I chose this artist is because he designed the sweaters and the clothes are transferred from the structures and outlines of the building, which is quite unique and unusual. And I really love his designed clothes.
Next, I'm going to introduce Amanda McCavour. She's a Toronto-based artist who creates large-scale embroidery artwork using stitches. She's interested in the thread of seam vulnerability, ability to unravel, and strength when sewn together. McCavour shows her work in galleries nationally and internationally with solo exhibitions, and I'm very excited to share them with you in the next few slides. Moving on to the artist's intention or expression, most of her work is connected to nature with rigorous botanic elements, including flowers, plants, and birds. Through an exploration of line and its two-dimensional and three-dimensional implications, she used the stitch to explore the whole body fibers and threads' accumulative presence. Amanda's work investigates the duality of embroidery, its subtle quality versus its accumulative presence, and its structural possibilities versus its fragility. My favorite exhibitions from her is the Suspended Landscape at the Chisholm Museum in Wisconsin, running from March 11 to September 11, 2022. In this exhibition, she links scientific research to textile and wallpaper patterns. These lace samples show her embroidery technique. She based ode to a Perry on Wisconsin Perry flowers at the Humberrian. She makes matching embroideries. Her lace-like embroidery was made from dissolved fabric. Before dissolving, she stitched lines and crossed threads. When the fabric was dissolved, the thread drawings interlock. Plants and their ecology are linked, sustaining a plant community. McCavour's artwork largely focused on embroidery, using sewing machine to create thread drawings and installations with sheer polyester fabric and wires. She can stitch temporary lines on a water-soluble fabric. Crossing threads give the thread drawing strength when the fabric is dissolved. This installation appear to unravel quickly with only the thread remaining, but they are still strong. Moving on to why I was drawn to this artist. I was first attracted by McCavour's 3D hanging sculpture installations in one of the exhibitions in Quebec. I was amazed by how the threads appeared to be delicate, but they become so dynamic and powerful when sewn together, which were then able to turn into different shapes and structures. I was also deeply admired and inspired by her enthusiastic expression on nature and harmony. Her works have shown various elements bound to nature, such as flowers in the gardens and birds in the sky. She displayed everything vividly, whether it's on the flower shapes or the leaf texture. Her work has a strong calling on nature and a reminder to appreciate its beauty and vulnerability. Maybe we should all try to return to simplicity and pay close attention to the humble details around the nature to look for inspiration. Nature is a skilled craftsman. Its creation is the most beautiful of all, and that's what I always believe. Next, we have prepared 3 questions for you to further dive deep into your learning with these artists and test the work. First, what do the 3 artists' work share in common? Second, how do the 3 artists' techniques related to our course materials? And the last one is, what are your inspirations from this artist's work, and how would you incorporate them in your future design moving forward? And here are the references for our presentations. And thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy our presentation. Thank you.